again. Settle yourselves, dear ones, as we help the medium get more out of the way. There are many already present working on all of you. Fill yourselves with Creator's white light, as pure as you can imagine. Until you become filled with a blinding white light. And feel your expansion as the light being that you are. It is as though you are all radiant suns. You may think, but when I was a child, the sun was yellow or orange, and it is more white now, is it not? The vibration and the color of your sun has changed. And some are not even paying attention to it. But if you look in your sky, when you were children, children would draw a yellow sun or an orange sun, or a mixture of the two colors. But the children now, if they notice the light coming from the sun, not looking right into it, of course, for not to harm the eyes, it is more white. And that is not what most of you, when you were growing up, ever saw. And so there is not only change on your world, but change in your, we shall say, solar system, galaxy even, affecting all of the planets, as you know. Perhaps you don't. For the vibrations coming from the center of your galaxy affect all planetary as well as life form bodies by the frequency that is being transmitted. And some of you don't realize why you have strange aches and pains and fatigue and may feel out of sorts for a few days or a few weeks, and then all of a sudden it's gone. You are being affected by the frequencies bathing your world and your entire planet and beyond as they permeate all life. And so just know that this is not a one-time thing, shall we say. More frequencies will interact with you and your world and all life on it, and all of the, as you know, planets near you, near this one, where you are. And so we want you to understand this. For many have strange, we shall call them symptoms, but not symptoms. It's just when you go through a sort of detox, a vibrational shift, you have what you call a healing crisis at times. You can think of this as what is happening to some of you. It could last a day, it could last a few days, or it could last a week or a little longer. It all depends on how your physical body can handle the frequencies and how fast it is able to adjust and shift and integrate the new ones, the higher vibrations. And just know that all is well. Do not be concerned, or at least you are aware this is occurring. Think of all the people on your world who have zero understanding of what we just said. Amongst all of the chaos already running rampant on your world, many do not understand. Frequencies change all the time, even down to the microscopic, as you call it, and bacterial level. All life continues to evolve. All life. These frequencies affect all life on your world. And you may think, oh, well, what is life? If you think of, instead of life, consciousness, everything has consciousness. Everything is consciousness, vibrating at a different frequency. Whether it be a microbe, a bacteria, a single-celled organism, a pet, or a human, or a plant. Everything has consciousness. And so the frequency changes are affecting the consciousness. But because you are in these denser forms that you call a body, the consciousness level integrates the frequencies at a much easier, we shall say, pace, perhaps. But because you are also these denser forms, part of you, to have this experience, the physical form needs more time to process. The medium's having an interesting image. Think of different, what do you call them? Well, you could say filters. Think of if you had a filter and the holes, like in your window screens, was large. And it was a nice, clean mesh. And, how shall we say? One moment. We're trying to find the right words for this analogy to give you the right image. Okay. Think of when your children are playing in a sandbox and they have something that is circular that has like a mesh on it. It has a filter, and you even do this for your baking. You sift the flour. Something similar. Yet sand is very dense. It is more compact. And so the mesh on your filter, depending on the finite, or how do you say, the size of the holes? The medium cannot think of the technical term for this. The sand will go right through if it is large holes, right? It just falls right through. And only something, if you're thinking of in a sandbox, or for those that bake, if you're sifting flour, if you have a larger filter screen of sorts, the flour goes right through and clumps. Well, perhaps you don't want the clumps, so you get a finer filter, and yet a finer filter, and a finer filter. And so, if you keep tightening the filter, the holes, less and less of the larger particles get through. And also, if it was something like mud or something thick, it would not go through. It might need, you add water to it to loosen it up. This analogy is like all of you. Your vibrational tone that you carry uniquely within you is in a way your filter. And some are able to handle finer vibrations, and others are able to handle bigger ones, bigger shifts, if you think of it this way. Does this make sense to you, this analogy? Yes? The mediums can't think of something better, but that was the first image that popped in her head as we were starting to send her our thoughts of what we were discussing as we talk. It's a little bit of a telepathic connection while we do this. It's kind of interesting. She's realizing now how this works when she chimes in with ideas. Of course, the images come from her, but we share them. And so all of you are integrating the frequencies. If you think of them as sand, or a very vibrational sand, because it is obviously not something tangible that you hold in your hand. But depending on how much your filter can allow in it at any given time is how much comes through your filter, your vibrational screening of sorts. And so just realize that as you raise your vibration, in a manner of speaking, your filter holes are able to expand a little bit more, so you're able to, for lack of a better term, get hit with more than you were before and integrate it at the same pace. So some of you, things are coming in gently because that is how you need to integrate, more slowly, more gently. Others have been raising the vibration, integrating for a longer period of time, and so they are able to handle more of these energies in a, integrate them is a better term, in a shorter period of time, what you would call your time, with the physical form. It does not matter how long it takes. It will take however long it takes for your physical form to integrate the frequencies that are bathing your world. For all of you are being bathed by the frequencies. It's just that each of you, just like the animals and the plants, have their own energetic filter that allows whatever they can handle to come in at any given time. Unique for you, divinely aligned for each of you. So just understand this. And sometimes if you feel a little out of sorts, perhaps your filter got stretched a little bit and you're allowing a little bit more than you used to. That is one way of thinking why your bodies may have a little bit of a healing crisis of sorts at times. But it could also be that you are releasing a lot of older energies. It's like you have to throw out the trash to make room for what's new. Throw out the old to receive what is newer or better or more aligned with your vibration and your intentions. And so these old energies, you all have gone through release work in the past. When you release these old energies, oftentimes your physical form and your emotional body gets a little uncomfortable. It's all part of the releasing. It has to bubble up to the surface to be released. Because usually it has been pushed down, ignored, covered up, left to grow and fester, and then eventually it needs to reveal itself in order to heal. And so some of you may be going through this type of purging release work. That in your dense form is not what you call pleasant, but you understand the necessity for it. You always feel lighter and more at peace when it is complete. And we ask you within your mental body to do the best you can, to be at peace while these processing times unfold within your existence. Because if your mental state is more at peace, just accepting and allowing, everything goes a little more smoothly. It's like you're allowing everything to flow gently downstream as opposed to trying to, even though you know you're going downstream, you're trying to paddle upstream just a little bit and you're fighting it. So we ask you to just release and allow, to be gentle with yourselves if you are going through any of this time of release work. For it is necessary in order to integrate the higher frequencies. The lower energies cannot remain within your physical form if you are to integrate and embrace your higher self. You are all doing very well with where you are at this time. Each of you, including this medium, are on their own path, your own time frame, unique and divine for each of you. So we just wanted to discuss this so that you understand what some of you may be feeling or may be coming in the days and weeks ahead, depending on what vibrational shifts bathe your world and all life upon it. Okay? What we have done is we have been asked. Our blessings to you.